Hello, let me take this off. Hello, 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 you all. I will go live stream later. When I say later, a couple of minutes later, about crypto. I know most of you all are accustomed to hear me educate about crypto, but I do have some credit information. I am at the post office right now, mailing out some credit disputes for a client. I don't do that often. I don't do credit disputes often anymore. I just don't have the time. But if it's a situation where it is preventing somebody from making a major financial purchase and their credit report is not to destroy these minor things, right? That I can assist them with, then I'll take on that cases if they're trying to be a home buyer or um, something like that. So today, this is about medical debt collections. The law just passed that it is illegal for medical debt to be reported on your credit report now. So now it is illegal. Many are questioning if or when Trump's administration comes uh, into office, will they reverse this? My thoughts on it, just my thoughts, is no. Because this is what many people don't understand or realize about medical debt collections. In particular, we can talk about debt collect debt collections being report on your credit report too. But I'm gonna stick with the topic of just medical debt/collections reporting being illegal. Look at it from this perspective or these perspectives that I'm about to break down. Number one, if you have a medical situation or medical emergency, you do not sign a contractual agreement binding you to repay the money for those services. For example, if you are a home buyer, you buy a home, you sign many contractual agreements concerning the purchase of that home, or any type of real estate. If you are purchasing a vehicle, you sign paperwork, right? When it comes to medical expenses, you're not signing a contractual agreement. The same thing with credit card. A lot of people apply for credit cards that may go into collection, and you don't sign not even an e-signature. You complete an application for approval, but you don't sign any documentation agreeing to the repayment of that. So in essence, many people don't know this. Medical debt collections have been illegal for a long amount of time. And before this was really documented by the CFP, PB, the Consumer Finance Protection Bureau, and medical collections were being on people credit report anyway. It was illegal then because of HIPAA laws. HIPAA protects your medical records and things like that. So medical collections never were legal. Now, so if a medical debt collector calls you, you know, just some steps. And again, I'm so into crypto now that I'm going to. This is just a freelance live stream because I haven't did anything about credit repair in a while, except when I did the video about me beating Navy Federal last summer when I went to court, and it was like over $50,000 that I went to court with Navy Federal, and people right now are still getting summons for Navy Federal to go to court about credit card debt. That's a whole nother live stream for another day. So, what people don't realize by medical debt collections is that they are sold for pennies on the dollar. And when I say pennies on the dollar, I'm talking about literally pennies on the dollar. Like for every dollar of the debt that's sold to a debt collector that they purchase from the whoever provided you medical services, they pay like 2 cents. 2 cents for every dollar of debt. So you will ask them questions like, I'm not aware of this debt because you're probably not. Some people do not even get the original bill from their service provider. They just go ahead and send it to debt collectors. So this is right out the dome. So you want to ask them for the itemized bill. You're not aware of it. Even if you are aware of it, you want to say that you have no recollection of this debt or this account, in which you probably don't, because once it's sold to a debt collector, that's a third party. That's not the original business that you did business with, right? That's not the original contractual agreement or services that were provided with you. So at that point, you really don't, in truth, you don't recognize the debt. You don't recognize these debt collectors. I'm trying to think of some names of them that are that had people just that L&V funding, for example, just had people. But your medical debt collectors would be by other attorneys and lawyers and debt collectors just buy it 2 cents on the dollar. Like L&V funding, you don't know who L&V funding is. They provided no services for you, and you in turn did not receive any services for them. So that in truth is correct. Don't say, "Oh, I do remember going to this hospital and I had to go to the ER, and blah blah blah." That may be true. However, you still did not do business with that debt collector. So, you know, you are telling the truth, for most people do not realize in doing so that they are telling the truth. So I'm trying to think of some more of these other debt collections that I that was so common and easy. Credit management company to get off. Biggest debt collection agencies. Trans World System was one that often people had problems with. But again, I'm going to um, it's two other ones that I used to get deleted all the time from people credit report. So that's the number one. Ask them where's the itemized bill. Oftentimes they don't have the itemized bill anyway because it's against your HIPAA violation for them to have it. Because if they had the itemized bill, then they have to know what medical services that were provided to you, which is um, a medical law that's broken and breached. So you have these preparatory credit acts that have kept people in bondage for up to 7 years of reporting, kept people from purchasing homes, some cases kept people from getting jobs. So now that it's law and it's legal, if you have medical debt collections, medical debt reporting on your credit report, you need to make sure that you do your part, because some of these credit agencies are not just going to just drop this off your account. They're not just going to drop it off Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. You have to send in letters of affidavit in most cases to get that information deleted. But now that it's legal and it's you need to strike iron while it's hot. I don't know if the Biden administration is I mean the Trump administration is going to reverse it, but they should. Other thing about medical debt collectors that I covered, they're sold for pennies on the dollar. It's predatory credit reporting that keeps people in bondage. I mean, 2 cents for every dollar, and then they want the full amount from you, the debt collectors. They pay 2 cents on the dollar, but they want you to pay a full amount. You have to ask, is it itemized? Do they have an itemized account? You need validation of debt. I always ask that, not verification, but validation. You're not aware of it. Tell them I've never heard of this company. In most cases, you haven't because you didn't do business with them. And medical debt collections are not supposed to, report on my credit report anyway. Now, if you're dealing with any other type of collections, then the game is different. But this video is just an update about medical debt collections. I will be doing another video, a couple of minutes about XRP, Bitcoin. Stay tuned. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. I am helping people have high credit scores, high cash flow, and high crypto portfolios, and returning to their Christ conscious. Returning to their Christ conscious. What do you mean by that, Queen? Crypto, cash flow, credit score, Christ conscious. In the Bible, Jesus, Yeshua, was accused of what's called blasphemy, right? Your Christ consciousness. He was accused of blasphemy. And he was accused of this because uh, he knew things like the kingdom of heaven is within. right? And he knew that he had the power within. He didn't determine external power, he had the power within. And they accused him in John 10 and 34 of blasphemy. Jesus responded, the Jewish leaders, I told you all Jesus' biggest fight was against religious people, right? And they accused him of blasphemy. And the leaders in authority who are accountable to God, it's also called religion. And he responded with the scripture in Psalm 82 and 6. And he quoted back to them Psalm 82 and 6 in response to that. And he said, is it not written? Is it not written in the law that ye are gods? A phrase, ye are gods. Returning to your Christ consciousness, breaking free of the central banking system that oppress people and have people working and working and working, having people in bondage with low credit scores, having people with low cash flow that don't even have money to invest in crypto. Um, Not, having people in a 40 plan where they work 40 plus hours now a week for 40 years only to retire 40% of their income, not able to fully retire, have to get a second job, not having enough money to cash flow to invest in crypto because your credit score is low. It's under 600. You got 500, 550 credit score. Listen, I've had up to 800. I had up to 500. Let me tell you, that when I was in the 500, it was terrible. Having 800 credit score gave me options. It gave me capital to invest. It gave me the capital because when you have low income, you got to find the capital somewhere. It gave me the opportunity to use credit to pay off debt. Did y'all catch that? It gave me the opportunity to use credit to pay off debt. What do you mean by that, Queen? Well, when I got this 0% interest rate and I had debt that was financed at 10, 11, 12, 15% interest rate, I used that 0% introductory offer, whether it be 6 months up to a year, and I transferred that debt at 0% interest. And within 6 months, I paid it all off. Because if you don't, they're going to calculate that interest that would have been applied and apply it. So that's how you have to play that game. I learned about usury and mortgage, and that the root word or the origin of the word mortgage was French origin, mean mortier. It means a death pledge. And I understood that when you're buying a home that is front loaded with interest fees, even if it's 2 or 3%, if you're purchasing a $300,000 house, for example, or $200,000 at 3%, at 3%, at $200,000, we're looking at 40,000 of interest that's front loaded, or at 300,000 at 3%, we're looking at 90,000 interest front loaders for the first 7 to 10 years of that loan, you're only paying interest. You're not paying the principal. And then you have, if you get an FHA loan, that's called MIP, um, insurance, mortgage insurance protection that does not protect you, the consumer. It protects the banks, but they make you, the consumer, pay for that insurance. So if you default on your mortgage, called foreclosure, the bank's going to get the amount of loan that you're supposed to repay them anyway, and they're going to get the asset back and resell it to somebody else, and it's going to be a tax write-off for them. But then for 7 years, you have to live with a foreclosure reporting on your home and pay for that insurance that does not protect you. Usury and mortgages and mortgage, as people tell me all the time, things like, oh, when I resell my house, I get the equity, or I put my equity out to finance my child through college and blah, blah, blah. That's not a good use of equity in your home. The only time, in my opinion, you should use real estate equity is to purchase cash flowing real estate, not for to finance college. If you want to do that, you can take out a Fannie Mae loan or something at low interest rate. I would not put my house in collateral, but they don't look at, even if they resell their home and appears that they got 30, 40, 50,000 back in equity. If you stayed in that house for at least over three first couple of years, you were just repaying that back in interest anyway. So it really kind of cancels everything out. And then now, if you go buy the next house, you have to have 20% down. So that money that you call your equity, you're gonna have to use to purchase another home anyway. So was you really in profit? No, you wasn't. I'm helping people get free. Let me go sign out. Medical debt collections now officially is illegal. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I love you all. I got my I told y'all Bitcoin shirt on. Queen out.